All right, let's go. Day number 22. So I'm not sure how the hair looks, so whatever. But as always, we're keeping this raw. And today I want us to talk about enthusiasm. And that's because you might know how it is in most cases. You start something new, just like this series, for example, right? You get a dopamine hit because it's new, it's exciting, something you've never done before, and you get that dopamine spike, right? Everything seems amazing, you're learning a lot, or at least feeling like you're doing and learning a lot because it's something new. And then of course the energy starts to go down because you maybe see that things aren't picking up in terms of actual results, right? Because like you can do anything in this world, but if there is no, let's say, some kind of feedback loop that reinforces it, like some kind of dopamine spike, right, from anything. In this case, when you're doing business, when you're actually reaching out or doing paid ads, it's more so about money, right? So it's like you're putting money in and you're expecting money out. So it's a pretty simple in and out formula here. But of course, in between, there are so many other things, right? Like right now, I think this camera is centered and I hope so. So right now, actually, as you can see, right, probably you can see it slightly. I have LinkedIn open because LinkedIn is great for business, much better actually than Instagram. So Instagram is probably for friends, for maybe dating, whatever you're doing in there, because yeah, probably doom scrolling, right? It's not as productive mostly. It can be if you're using ManyChat, automations, and so on, but otherwise, LinkedIn is definitely a better platform to actually network for business purposes, because that's what it's made for, right? So it's more likely to find business on LinkedIn than on X, let's say. Even though on X, of course, you can have success, right? But it's a totally different platform. Like you can do many other things there. So less of a focus. However, let's come back to enthusiasm. And why do I want to talk about enthusiasm? Well, because it's one of the things you actually need in business. Because, like I said, things when you start them off, they are exciting and so on, but then it kind of dies off, right? Probably just like in a marriage. So I'm saying probably just because I am not married, but still, if you do enough research, you'll see, and you've probably felt it, there's like a honeymoon phase, and then of course that the excitement, the hormones and everything else like dies down, right? So that's when you actually have to decide, are you actually going to push through? Are you actually going to put in some effort or not? Because if you're not, it's not going to work. And it's the same in business. If you're not going to go through the bad days, the difficult conversations, all of those things, then of course you are less likely to actually win, right? So I was just listening to a Brian Johnson podcast, in case you know him. So he is the guy that's into not dying, so making sure the habits and everything are in order. And of course, like you don't need to have his style of life. Like you don't need his lifestyle. He's already a billionaire. But you do need to look at the components that made him a billionaire, or at the components that make him very healthy right now. Probably the healthiest person in the world. Big statement, but he is in that conversation. And basically, why does he have enthusiasm? Well, because he has some goals and he actually gets a dopamine spike from knowing he's getting closer to those goals. So, coming back to business, right? With the paid ads, why or how am I getting enthusiasm from them? Well, first of all, I'm filming these videos. Second, I'm getting data. Third, I'm continuously actually improving. Fourth, I'm actually making new connections. Just had a call yesterday with someone who found basically one of my videos randomly suggested by YouTube, and we connected. We had the chat for like 1 hour, even though it was scheduled for 40 minutes. So that is one thing I would highly advise. Just put yourself out there, because like it's not like I have anything going on for me, right? Like I'm not the most handsome. I'm not the most intelligent. I wasn't born in a rich family. It's not like I was born with confidence. So I'm not a native English speaker. I'm more of an INTJ personality, right? So there are so many things that I could say that are not in my favor, right? But it's like, even with the person that I had a call with yesterday, he was also more introverted from what he said, but he realized, just like me and like most of the people out there who are also introverted and let's say have some success in business, you actually do have to talk with people in 10 to 20% of cases. And that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to bring in enthusiasm into the conversation. Yesterday, I also had a call with I could call her a potential client, potential business partner, right? And she had so much energy that I haven't seen that in a while, right? And it was positive energy, which you don't find so often. So, and it's clear that it's not just for like one call, right? Because like I can also play with my energy and be very high energy for some amount of time. Just like in these videos, I'm having slightly more energy. I'm talking faster, louder than the usual self. But that's also because there is some excitement, enthusiasm, because we are actually talking about something that's important for me and I hope important for you. But with all of that, I can also say that if you didn't know, like a fun fact, enthusiasm does come from Latin, and it means something along the lines of being godlike. So it is, I would say, a state that we want to be in as often as possible. And I think you agree. You can usually do much better things. I mean, you can do them better, faster, whatever you want when you have some enthusiasm, when you actually have a why, right? So it's not necessarily rocket science. If we look back, we can see that whenever we've had something done with pleasure by ourselves or with enthusiasm, however you want to call it, then there was a reason behind it. Urgency, doing it for someone else, there are different things to take into consideration here. But not to make this personal development part, which we also mix with business, too long, let's switch the camera and let's look at Ads Manager, the tracking sheet, and let's see how things are going with the paid ads. All right, so we're back. And first, let's start with the sheet just so you can see the trend here. So as you can see, we started on January 2025 this year, basically around 21 days ago. And we started with $15, went directly to 46, probably some inefficiencies. Yeah, definitely some inefficiencies here. You can see 0 leads, right? But right now you can see more leads coming in. They are still, I would say, unqualified, most of them, but it's also, as you can see, a numbers game, meaning that first you have to spend to get some data, then the pixel starts understanding better who to target, and then you can see that because I optimized and even the algorithm optimized, we are getting more leads. I'll have to see what will happen with these leads, how we'll approach them, and so on. Just because I've only had one call with someone until now. Other people haven't showed up, and they either maybe replied to the email, but yeah, didn't really follow up. So, I mean, clearly not, I haven't found the gem yet, right? But this is how it is even in investment. Sometimes you just need to find one gem. So $28 yesterday, 3 leads, 12 clicks, good ratio here. And if we look at today, let's just reload it really quick. Basically nothing, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, $42 in spend, nothing, but let's not forget what we did yesterday. So we did add one more question to the form, and I think that might have helped, because that's the goal, actually, to get less people but more qualified people. So right now, no one actually signed up on these new forms that we have here. So these two are also asking for a Shopify store URL. So this would definitely be more relevant. So qualifying questions just to make sure that you aren't wasting time, they are not wasting time, and it's as productive as possible for everyone involved. So that's pretty much it here with what's been happening, slow and steady, nothing extremely new, which is exactly what you should be doing with ads after you made some changes. So with all of that being said, let's switch the camera. All right, so now we are back for the last few minutes here, as always, coming up with a conclusion, next steps, and mentioning what's coming up. So right now, as you can see, there are some leads coming in, but at the same time, you do need to give it time. Instead of thinking just in terms of 1 month, you can think in terms of a full year, meaning that you don't need to think that you are running paid ads once and then that's it. Like, you've got enough clients and you don't have to play the game anymore, right? It's actually just like with the content. Why wouldn't you post daily, weekly, or on a specific cadence if you know it helps, right? Because not having time is not an excuse. Like, we all have time. There are 80 to 100 hours a week when you can actually work. If you can fit in some important things in there, it's basically because of lack of organization, basically. Because we all have 80, 100 hours a week. We're just spending them either better or worse. And it doesn't mean we shouldn't be wasting our time, but if we are wasting time, let's say, it should be on things that we enjoy. And basically, let's say you go to a concert, you go to a theater, you go to a cinema. So maybe you just watch Netflix, who, by the way, just raised their prices yesterday after having their earnings call. But yeah, we won't talk about investments and things like that, just because that's a totally other subject. I don't want to make this channel about that, and the focus is actually eCom, ads, marketing, and most importantly, mindset, just because it helps everything else. So with all of that being said, that's it for today. Hope you found some value in it. As always, that's why we talk about something else except the metrics, because honestly, the metrics alone are boring. That's why you need to tie the metrics with something like the mission, the brand, the people, the next generation, everything that you can think of that can help you actually be enthusiastic, because that was the main topic of this video. So with that being said, that's it for today, and see you tomorrow. Peace out.